Hello to the BFOD squad. Welcome back, Barrel Full of Daryl. Season 2, Episode 2. Only 50 more to go till Season 3. Who's counting? As you know, this is where I discuss a movie, I discuss some music, and throw around a little bit of mirth and some other funky ass shit. So, last week I gave you this movie quote. I think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir. Well, that's from the movie, the great movie, Full Metal Jacket. Private Joker's being questioned by a colonel why he wears a peace sign pin on his armored jacket and the words "Born to Kill" written on his helmet. Private Joker also comments that it's a Jungian thing. Carl Jung, Swiss psychoanalyst. Now, in Jungian psychology, the persona and the shadow are opposing, complementary archetypes. The persona is the conscious mask that we wear to adapt to social demands, while the shadow is the repressed, hidden, and often dark side of the personality. Duality of man. Cool shit, huh? So I'll throw a mystery lyric at you. You got me running, going out of my mind. You got me thinking that I'm wasting my time. Maybe you'll know it. I'll give you the answer next week. So last week, Kinsey always gives me a weekly review on my podcast. He's such a good co-host. And he texted me saying he was surprised that I discussed the movie District 9 because I'm not a big fan of sci-fi. Well, that's kind of true. I'm not that big a fan of sci-fi, but there are certain movies like District 9 and Aliens that really suck you in, you know? But this should also tell you how good the movie District 9 really is. To me, it's not normal sci-fi. It's super normal sci-fi. Yeah. Oh, Kinsey also, he chides me for chewing gum while recording. Sometimes I forget, so I'll take this piece out now. Okay. Music. So there's this one artist. He has the nicknames Mr. Dynamite, hardest working man in showbiz, soul brother number one, godfather of soul. Got it yet? That's right. James Brown. Ah, what a guy. He was born in 1933, and he was a Black American singer, songwriter, dancer, musician, and record producer. Also known as the progenitor of funk music. He died on Christmas Day in 2006 at the age of 73 from congestive heart failure due to complications with pneumonia. Now, his career covered 50 years, 5 decades. He was one of the first 10 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. Now, he began his career as a gospel singer and rose to prominence as lead singer of the famous Flames, an R&B group founded by Bobby Byrd, who eventually became his co-frontman. Now, Brown built a reputation as a dynamic live performer with the famous Flames, and also with his backing band, the James Brown Band or the James Brown Orchestra, also known as the JBs. Now, his success peaked in the 1960s with his hits Cold Sweat, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Got You, I Feel Good, and It's a Man's World. It's funny, the song I Got You, it starts out with a scream by James Brown. Wow! Just a scream. And you may have seen online videos of people surprising or scaring someone with this opening scream. They jump all over the place. And then it goes into the music. This happens to be my favorite song by him. I Feel Good. In the 1970s, Brown had fully established the funk sound with the JBs, with songs like Get Up, I Feel Like a Sex Machine, The Payback, and Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Now, Brown's recordings during this period inspired artists such as Sly and the Family Stone, Booker T and the MGs, The Temptations, and Michael Jackson. Now, during his performances, he would get exhausted, and he would famously drop to his knees when performing the last song, Please, Please, Please. And the show's MC would walk out on a stage with a cape and drape the cape over James's shoulders and escort him off the stage. He's quite the showman, and he's one hell of a dancer as well. He shuffles across the stage with fancy footwork, drops to his knees, jumps back up again, does the splits. Very impressive. And I can see that his dancing was also a big impact on Michael Jackson, no doubt. During his career, he released 60 studio albums and 17 singles that reached number one on the Billboard R&B charts. He also holds the record for most singles on the Billboard Hot 100 chart that did not reach number one. He's been inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame, and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Now, analysis of the Billboard R&B charts from 1942 to 2010 shows that Brown is ranked number one in the top 500 artists. He's also number 7 on Rolling Stone's list of 100 greatest artists of all time. Big thing. He also appeared in numerous movies, Dr. Detroit, Rocky IV, The Blues Brothers, as well as the TV show Miami Vice, and he even voiced himself as a character in an episode of The Simpsons. Eddie Murphy. When he was on Saturday Night Live, he did imitations of James Brown and knocked it out of the park. He also performed live with James in 1996 during a tribute to Richard Pryor, which happened to include the famous cape. All this is on YouTube if you don't believe me. Also, there is a biopic titled Get On Up with Chadwick Boseman playing James Brown. Boseman, I think I got that right. It was co-produced by Mick Jagger. It's rentable on Prime Video if you are inclined to watch it. Now, as per, I've dropped numerous songs on my multitude of playlists that are hanging out there. It's on season 2, episode 2. And now a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back. Well, it's still me, Daryl. Now, last week I visited the town of Scratch Ankle to personally see how the townsfolk are doing. They were happy to see me and greeted me kindly, but there was no red carpet treatment. Understandable due to their recent troubles. I didn't expect it and I didn't get it. That's okay. I did meet with the mayor and police chief, and they escorted me around town. Now, the rabbit raccoon issue had been resolved, and they showed me a huge pile of ashes where they had burned the carcasses. And they estimated that at least 60 raccoons had been killed. Then we visited Ricky Ray's grave at the Scratch Ankle Baptist Church. There were a lot of broken beer bottles, and it looked like the marker had been pissed on quite a lot. But rest in peace, Ricky Ray. We had lunch at Salmonella's seafood restaurant, which was recently reopened. It was delicious. It was really good, but my stomach had an issue with all the fried food. So we stopped at the Piggly Wiggly so I could get a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. So the town is returning to normal due to the extent of their firearms. No other townsfolk were bitten, by the way. And I was assured that the sponsorship would resume soon. It was a good visit, and I thanked them for their hospitality. More to come. Okay, movie time. Movie. Now, when I was in college, I took a literature class, and one assignment was to read the book Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Well, this book was written in the late 14th century by an anonymous author, now known as the Gawain poet. It was written in Middle English alliterative verse, and praise Odin, it has been transferred into modern English. Now, it is the best known of the King Arthur stories, and it combines two types of folk motifs: the beheading game and the exchange of winnings. Now, there's also a book available, translated by J.R.R. Tolkien, as well as some other translations hanging out there. Now, this book, it has stuck with me over the years, over my lifetime. And I was very curious when I saw the movie The Green Knight was streaming on Netflix. So I read the book again. It's not that long. And then I watched the movie. By the way, 3 movies have been released based on this book, but I'll only discuss the latest one, released in 2021. Now, the movie and the book basically have the same plot arc, but the movie really took a lot of artistic license, and they've added in a lot of scenes that were not in the book. But that's okay. It's a short book. They had to build upon it to make a decent movie. So we are in the setting of King Arthur days. Dev Patel stars as Gawain, and Alicia Vikander plays his love interest, a commoner named Essel. In the opening scene, it's Christmas morning, and Essel awakens Gawain, who has passed out in a brothel. Well, he jumps up, gathers his shit, and he returns to Camelot after a scolding from his mother. So, Christmas Day, Gawain attends a feast at the Round Table, with his uncle, King Arthur, who invites him to sit by his side. Now, Gawain's mother in the movie, she's portrayed as a witch, and she does some magic, and she summons a mysterious green knight who barges into Arthur's court during the feast, comes riding in on horseback. Now, this guy, very large, and made up to kind of look like he's made of bark. It's a little ridiculous, but that's how he looked. Carries a huge green axe. And he makes a challenge that any knight able to land a blow on him will win his green axe. But that knight must travel to the Green Chapel 1 year later on Christmas and receive an equal blow in return. So all the knights are sitting there kind of quiet, and Gawain steps up and accepts the challenge, and King Arthur hands him his sword, Excalibur. Surprisingly, the Green Knight stoops to his knees and offers his neck to Gawain. Gawain's kind of stunned by this, but he says, okay, whatever. And he decapitates the Green Knight. Surprisingly, again, the Green Knight rises, picks up his head, and reminds Gawain of the bargain. And he rides away on his horse. Now, Gawain spends the next year drinking and partying until King Arthur reminds him of the challenge and says that he must live up to it. So a few days later, Gawain leaves out on horseback, taking the green axe and wearing a green girdle or cummerbund around his waist. His mother had made the girdle for him and tells him that no harm will come to him as long as he wears it. So he's out on his journey, and not too long into it, he meets a boy scavenging a battlefield that's littered with dead bodies. They start chatting. The boy asks him where he's going, and Gawain tells him he seeks the Green Chapel. So the boy says, oh yeah, there's a stream right over there, and if you follow the stream, it will lead you there to the Green Chapel. Gawain says, okay. And as he's following the stream, the boy and his two friends ambush and tie him up. They ambush him, tie him up, and steal his horse, his axe, and the green girdle. And they leave him to die. Well, Gawain manages to roll across the ground, and he gets to his sword, and he cuts through the binding on his hands and then his legs. So he's free, but now he has to walk for the remaining of his journey to the Green Chapel. Along the way, he befriends a cute little fox who accompanies him on the journey. So Gawain eventually reaches a castle and meets the Lord. And the Lord tells him that the Green Chapel is not far from there and invites him to stay and rest. And Gawain accepts the offer. At dinner, the Lord's lady makes seductive overtures toward Gawain. So I guess it was after dinner, the Lord proposes an exchange of winnings to Gawain. Whatever the Lord kills while hunting, he will make it a gift to Gawain. In exchange, whatever Gawain finds or receives during his stay is to be given to the Lord. Sure enough, the next day, while the Lord is out hunting, the lady seduces Gawain and gives him a green girdle that will keep him safe from harm. Gawain leaves the castle only to encounter the Lord in the forest, who's been out hunting. Now, the Lord gives Gawain the fox he had found while hunting, still alive, unharmed, in a bag, gives it to Gowan, but Gowan does not give the Lord the green girdle. Whoops. So Gowan continues the journey with the fox, and he comes to a stream with a boat. Now this fox speaks and implores Gowan to abandon the quest due to the danger. But Gowan chases him off. He takes the boat downstream to the Green Chapel, where the Green Knight, awaits him. Okay, right here, got to give you a spoiler alert. If you care to watch the movie and you don't like spoilers, well, you can hit pause or just cover your ears. So Gowan, when seeing the Green Knight again, he returns his green axe to him, and then he kneels and awaits the blow. Now, when the Green Knight swings the axe, Gowan flinches away, but he comes back and apologizes and says, "I'm ready." So on the next attempt, Gowan flinches away again, and he gets up, apologizes, and runs off into the forest where he finds his horse. Now, upon returning to Camelot, Gowan is received as a hero, and King Arthur knights him. But things do not go well for him afterward. King Arthur dies, and Gowan becomes the new king. He and Ethel have a son together, but Gowan abandons her and marries a noblewoman instead. The son comes of age and dies in battle, and Gowan, he's just unable to sustain Camelot, and they're beset by battles from enemies. And Gowan has become a reviled king. As the battles go on, Gowan's castle is under siege, and his wife, daughter, and mother abandon him. He then looks down, grabs the girdle, and removes it. In doing so, his head falls off. Now, in the final scene, it's revealed that all of this was a vision and that Gowan is still kneeling in front of the Green Knight. He tells the Green Knight, "I am ready. I am ready." And the knight praises Gowan for his bravery and says, "Now off with your head." And the credits begin to roll. Now, I'm a bit put off by this film, but only due to my familiarity with the book. But the book is, it's a short book, like I said, and without the vividness that you do see in the film. The critics like this film, and it has an 89% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences, however, gave it a middling grade of C+, on a scale of 8F. But perhaps you should see it for yourself, and you decide. It's streaming on Netflix. Tell them Daryl sent you. Okay. Word of the week. Decimate. 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 I've heard this word a lot lately. Yeah. Now, it means to drastically reduce in number or to cause great destruction or harm. However, vocabulary purists resent this misuse of the word. Historically, it means to select by lot and kill every 10th man. Thus the prefix deci. Yeah, it's a cool word. The definition has expanded over time. Joke of the week. A woman gave birth to conjoined twins. She named one Will and the other Way. Well, when there's a will, there's a way. I made that one up, you could probably tell. Question of the week. Last week, I asked about how many people die each day worldwide. The number astounded me. 150,000 deaths each day. That's 2 per second. In contrast, births, there are 360,000 each day, or 4 per second. So the world is making babies twice as fast as it is killing people. Yeah, that's got to be sustainable. New question of the week. It takes 2 to tango, but how many to form a conga line? It takes 2 to tango, but how many to form a conga line? We'll discuss that in our next episode. Thought of the week. The thought of the week regards the Peter principle, and it's not sexual. It is a concept in management developed by Lawrence J. Peter. And it's kind of like this. In a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to the level of his incompetence. Basically, a good employee gets a promotion into a different position in which he does not excel. Or he does well in his first, but not the second or third. Peter principle. Okay, please don't forget about the playlist I got flying around out there, season 2. Also, remember you can contact me by clicking on the send me a text button in the podcast or directly at bfodpodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can support the show. Yeah, there's a feature that lets you make a monthly donation to support the show. If you do it, that's great. If you don't do it, that's great. I'm just glad to have you here. So that's it for season 2, episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.